Hello viewers, today I'm going to show you how to do replace the fork oil on your motorcycle. I'm doing this on my 2004 Yamaha FZ6 and this has standard forks in there, and I'm going to show you how to replace the fork oil because that's a common issue on these bikes, that the front forks are really soft. So I'm going to upgrade the fork oil to 15 weight fork oil. That's what I have. And the most proper way to do this is basically, replace the springs and the fork oil. But the cheap route is just to replace the fork oil, and that's what I'm going to do. This is my commuter bike, so that should make a difference. I think the stock oil that's in the bike is about 5 weight, so I'm going to upgrade it to 15 weight. The first thing I'm going to do, what I've done is I've marked the position of my handlebar on both the sides with some little tape and markings right here. I'm going to open the handlebars up, and I'm going to use my straps that are I've put over the beam, and I'm going to pull the handlebar off so it hangs right about here, so it's out of the way. You can do it without doing this, but it'll just make the job a little easier. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the handlebars. So the handlebars are now out of the way. What I'm going to do next is go ahead and open these fork top covers, and I'm just going to loosen them up. I'm not going to necessarily take them off. And then I will go ahead and lift the bike up from here so that the front wheel is off the ground, because we're going to have to remove the front wheel as well. So now the bike is securely, the front wheel is securely off the ground. Next, what we're going to do is open up these two brake caliper bolts and take the brake caliper off, and then I'm going to tie the brake calipers to the handlebars or some other point so they're not putting weight on the brake lines and they're suspended. Once that is done, then I'm going to open up this Allen axle and take the wheel off. Okay, so I have the brake calipers taken off. I also took out the fender. That's right there. What I've done is I've used some string, and I've tied the brake calipers to the mirrors on both the sides, and they're suspended and they're not putting any weight on the brake lines. Next, I'm going to take off the wheel and then start unbolting the triple clamp bolts to take out slide out the forks. So with the wheel off, now it's time to unscrew these pinch bolts right here. There's one right here, and then there's one right under here. It's probably hard to see right here, but it's right around over here. So we're going to go ahead and unscrew these, and then I'm going to slide the forks out. I'm going to also mark each side of the fork. It's really hard to mess these up, but I just like to do it just to be safe, left and right. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off now. So the forks are off the bike now, and as you remember, we already loosened these caps up. So I'm going to go ahead and open those caps out and then drain the oil from both the forks. I have both my forks draining right here. You have to pump the forks a few times to get all the oil out, and just leave them sitting to drain for a couple of minutes. I'm going to leave it for at least half an hour so that I can get most of the oil out. So these are the springs that came out of the forks. The tight wound end goes in first, and then we have the spacer right here, and there's a washer, and then there's the cap. So it's good to keep all of the things in the same order that they came out, so that they can be put together easier. So I'm going to go ahead and leave these alone, let them drain for a little bit, and then come back and finish off the filling. Okay, so the forks are back together. I've already put the oil in the right fork, and I've got the cap on as well. The final tightening will take place once the forks are on the bike. This one is still going in. Once that is done, I'm going to put the cap in and then put the forks back on. Reverse process, basically everything goes back on as you put them, as you took them off. And that's how you do fork oil change on your motorcycle. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.